It's Saturday, December 9th, 2023. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Please like this video, share all my videos, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. But let's continue to wake people up. Let's continue to get the word out there. But I want to get into a few things today. This will be a pretty short video, but a few things off the top of my head here. Being in a hospitality type area of Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage, La Quinta. Beautiful day today, probably about 77 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. And a few observations from the past couple days. One, it's fairly quiet for this time of year. Right now, there's absolutely nobody teeing off on the golf course here. There's a few people that have played through here today, but very, very few people. Yesterday, too, I'm really shocked. The small amount of golfers that have been out the last couple days in this beautiful weather. Again, today, 77 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, probably about a 5 to 7 mile per hour wind. It's really a beautiful day, a perfect day for golf. And very few people are out golfing today. Another observation is just being throughout the valley. Again, this is a international destination. This is our season right now. The season is in the wintertime. People come from all over the world. A lot of people from the Midwest, a lot of Canadians, a lot of people from up north come down here for the weather. And I'm not seeing the amount of people that I used to see out here now. I don't see as many out-of-state license plates. I certainly don't see as many Canadian license plates. And there's a lot of Airbnb rentals just in this development. And it is very, very quiet. And when you have weather this nice, and many parts of the U.S. have already gotten snow, it's very cold, I would have thought we'd see more people out here now, but knowing what the economy is doing, people are still coming out, but a lot less people are coming out. And the people that are coming out are going to be staying here less, not as long. Their trips will be cut short. I was on El Paseo yesterday. People walking around, beautiful day, but not a lot of people actually shopping, and not really a whole lot of people out. You would think we're just literally 2 weeks away from Christmas. It's not that busy. People aren't out shopping. I was at the mall a few days ago, and it's not that busy. So what are you seeing in your areas? What are you seeing in your malls, your shopping areas? Is it as busy as it was a couple years ago? It certainly is not here. Tourism here, with what I can observe with my own two eyes, seems to be much less than years prior. Over the summer, I know the city of Palm Springs brought in 16% less tax revenue through hotels, motels, and retail spending. That's a huge hit, 16%. Be very curious to see what happens over our season now. But the restaurants aren't crazy busy. Yes, some of them are busy, but it isn't like it used to be. That is very, 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 very obvious. Now, another thing I want to talk about today is, and many of you I think can relate to this reading the comments, people just don't care. They don't care about their jobs. They don't care about service. They just don't care. Nobody cares anymore, and that's really, really sad. Many of you in the comments were talking about your experiences at restaurants and the type of service you have gotten. When I talked about this gentleman a couple days ago who flat out said, "I'm not leaving you a tip," to his waitress, and literally 7 feet away from me, because the service was so bad. And you know, it just seems that people out here, at least in California, can work at a McDonald's for $16, $17, and that's going to $20, and the quality of service is still garbage. You would think somebody making $17 an hour, soon to be $20, would be gracious, would have some good customer service, would keep the restaurant clean. It's not happening. People just don't care. It's almost like they're upset that they have to work, and I think many of them are. The student loan repayment has begun, the stimmies are over, the unemployment benefits are over, all this stuff is over. When people could stay home, they didn't have to pay their rent, or they were in one moratorium or another. And now that that's all ended and the freebies are over, now they're back to work, and they're really PO'd about it. They're really upset that they have to go back to work and make, $17 an hour at a fast food joint. And here in California, they're going to be forced to pay $20 an hour if you have 65 or more restaurants. Here in the state of California, they're going to make those restaurants pay $20 an hour. And yet people still take no pride. They're not happy. They're upset. It's really shocking, the mentality of the average worker in America now. And I say this, I'm going to continue to say this, if you have a good job and it's allowing you to pay your bills and it's feeding you, I would do whatever I had to do right now to keep that job, because in 2024, you're going to see a lot of people get laid off. It's coming. We really began to see it in 2023, literally all across every sector. It is only going to intensify in 2024. So keep your job. Do a good job. Be thankful for what you have. And pray to God that this economy turns around, that at some point there's newer and better opportunities down the road. I don't know if that's going to happen. But in the meantime, if you have a job that is feeding you, taking care of you, don't lose that job. Another observation, just going through a few observations this week. A couple days ago, we stopped in at a submarine sandwich location, restaurant in the area. Walked in, figured out to get a ham, Swiss, lettuce, tomato, onion sandwich. And place was nothing special, just a little dumpy place. $16 for a ham sandwich, ladies and gentlemen, for a ham sandwich with lettuce and tomato and onion on it. I said, we're out of here. There's no way I'm going to pay $16 for a ham sandwich. I mean, not that I can't afford it, but at some point, you've got to say no. And nobody was in this place. It's under new management, struggling apparently. But when you walk into a place, at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and nobody's in there, that's telling you something right there. And I'm telling every one of you, from my observations, from my mouth to your ears, I'm seeing a lot less people eating out at restaurants. And I know people are going to write me saying, you need to eat at home, make your own food. I get it. I'm doing that as much as I can. But sometimes I'm out, I'm busy, I'm working, I've limited time, and I have to grab something to eat just because it's convenient. But you're 100% right. It is much more affordable and healthier to be doing this stuff at home. But $16, I want you to comprehend this, $16 for a ham sandwich. Jersey Mike's, I can never say anything bad about Jersey Mike's. The service is always very good. The food is always fresh. You can watch them make the sandwich, the lettuce, the tomato, the onion, the pickles, everything right there, nice and fresh. So that thumbs up for Jersey Mike's, and their prices are affordable. But I could not believe that they were charging $16 for a ham sandwich. So just a couple observations. Comment down below. Are restaurant prices causing you not to go out to eat? Is it blowing your mind when you see the prices on the menu? I cannot get over it, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot get over it. The cost. And I think, what would a family of four, what would the cost be to just go out to lunch, just to go get a burger? I mean, you go to a sit-down restaurant, a diner, it is $17 to $20+ You go to Tommy Bahama's on El Paseo, it's probably $25 for a burger. It's getting absolutely out of control. And where's the breaking point? When do people, at some point go, I'm just not going out to grab a sandwich or a burger. It's just impossible. It's too much. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting close to that breaking point. Here's an article today from altmarket.us, grinding down into deflation, the national debt disaster no one is talking about. And this article made a really good point here. We're paying roughly near $1 trillion now in interest on the debt, and it's going to continue to go up. But here's how bad it is. While they're telling you every day on the television, while your politicians are telling you every day, while the analysts, the economists are telling us every day that everything's fine, we're talking nearly $1 trillion of interest on the debt right now. And how are we paying that? We're paying that by borrowing money. We have to borrow money now to pay the interest on the debt. Okay, this interest on the debt is going to be going to $1 trillion very, very soon. We're heading that way. And right now, it's so bad that we're having to borrow money as a country in order just to pay our interest payment on this massive debt that is now approaching $34 trillion, not including unfunded liabilities like Medicare and Medicaid. Think about, that's how broke we are. We're borrowing money to pay our bills. And this is trickling all the way down into households. Households are now doing the same thing. They're borrowing money to pay their bills. They're using credit cards. They're using buy now, pay laters. They're using payday loans. They've pulled equity out of their homes. They've borrowed money in order to just stay alive. And that's exactly what this country is doing now. It is borrowing money to stay alive. Very, very critical time, ladies and gentlemen. The financial disaster no one is talking about. This on The Hedge today. Rising prices with stagnant wages and falling production, that is stagflation, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening right now. Now we have a problem nobody's talking about. Now we have a problem called stagflation. As bad as it is right now, expect it to get much, much worse. And why do I say that? A couple reasons that I just jotted down here. National debt, almost $34 trillion, $33.8 trillion. 120% debt to GDP. October, this last October, the federal government added $600 billion to the national debt. And as I just said, we are getting close to paying around $1 trillion of interest just on the debt. You look at the deficit in this country, about $1.7 trillion, heading to $2 trillion. We're not making things. We're not manufacturing. We're not producing. We have an economy of consumption, where 70% of this of our economy is based on consumption. People buying stuff with money they don't have. Very, very dangerous. Another one today on The Hedge. The reckoning begins. A couple points, a couple highlights in this article. The economy has been propped up by the consumer. A consumer that is flat out broke, but has access to credit cards. No one, just go back, a year or two ago, nobody had to pay on their mortgage. There was the mortgage forbearance. Student loan debt was in a moratorium. You had the Paycheck Protection Program. You were getting $2,500 stimulus checks. Free money everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Free money everywhere. There was a time where people weren't even having to make their auto payments because that was in a moratorium too. There were so many moratoriums, I can't even keep up with them. But now people are having to, again, make payments on their homes. The student loan repayment has begun. People's savings has been depleted. People are now tapped out or tapping out their credit cards. And there's no more free money. There's no more stimmies. There's no more freebies. What are people going to do now that it's all running out? I can sit out here on a beautiful day like today, 75, 77 degrees, crystal blue skies, absolutely stunning. And there's people out walking around. There's a few people playing golf. There's people out having lunch today. And for the most part, everything seems quiet. It's almost like a lull before the storm. But I'm here to remind every one of you, don't get complacent. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Don't just think because the weather's nice, maybe where you live it isn't, but just because people are out, people might be spending money for Christmas gifts and they're going back out to dinner and everybody's in a great mood. Careful, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, over 30% of this country is going out to get a credit card right now just to go Christmas shopping. Over 25% haven't even paid off last holiday season's shopping spree. 60, 70, 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. The debt is absolutely out of control. The debt can never be paid back. There's only one thing that can happen, ladies and gentlemen, is this country is going to go bankrupt. Things are going to crash. Things are going to get really, really bad. And, if you want to believe everything is okay because a few people are out eating and drinking and a few people on the television are telling us everything's okay, if that makes you feel better, great. But I'm going to sit here and tell you the truth from the data I'm reading From what I'm seeing with my own two eyes, from my own observations, and from the comments down below, things are only getting worse. They're not good right now, and they're going to get worse. Comment down below. What are you seeing in your areas? I want you to report to all of us, you know, what area you're living in, what state, where you're shopping, whether it's a grocery store, a mall, a Best Buy. What are you seeing? What do the crowds look like? Do you see people running around carrying bags? Do you see people, you know, spending? Or do you notice people are pulling back? The luxury market is down half this year compared to last year. It's been slashed 7.5%. It was up 15% last year. It's up 7% this year. It's been slashed in half. We're seeing pullbacks. Here's another one today. U.S. bank deposit outflows continue to surge as regional stress accelerates. Inflows to money market funds continue to be huge. $290 billion has gone into money markets in the last 6 weeks. $88 billion of deposit outflows from banks in the last 4 weeks. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on banks. And what about liquidity? If people aren't putting money in the bank and they don't have that money to lend out, then they have a liquidity issue, right? So you're noticing now that banks don't want to lend money. A lot of money leaving these banks, especially the regional banks, the smaller banks. Expect to see more regional banks get gobbled up in 2024. More regional banks are going down in 2024. They will be gobbled up. But think about the entire condition of the entire banking system, whether it be regional or the larger big banks. Most banks at this point are in big trouble. They're insolvent, they're broke. And we're going to see more problems continue in 2024, probably going to be worse than what we saw in 2023. And at some point, when do people begin to lose faith in the banking system and say, hey, my money might be safer, you know, under my mattress than it is at a bank? We've seen the cyber attacks with the credit unions, with banks, with other financial institutions. How safe is your money when you're not able to hold it yourself, when you have no control and there's third-party risk? Think about that. Think about who's managing your money, where your money is, who's protecting your money. How quickly could you get your money? But if those ATMs shut down and those banks shut down, or there's a major cyber attack and everything shuts down, what are you going to do for money? How will you eat? Do you have food put away? You should have as much food put away as you possibly can stack now. Emergency food, canned food, bottled water, water purifications, water filters, things of that nature. You got to be doing something right now. Winter is coming for leveraged companies. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, a purge is coming. The whole market and companies have been living in La La Land, and a lot of people have been living in La La Land. This fake world of wealth, of quantitative easing, where you can borrow money at 1%, 2%, you can buy anything, and it's buying time for a lot of companies. They were able to buy time because they could borrow money so cheap. Companies that were making no profit, these zombie companies, buying time because they could borrow money for next to nothing. You can make lots of mistakes, and you're not going to be called out when you can borrow money at 1%. Corporations are levered up due to private equity firms buying up companies with cheap money. There's going to be a lot of stress in these markets, ladies and gentlemen. Record levels of deal making took place during the health crisis when money was cheap. Now, a huge amount of debt for junk-rated firms is coming due as maturity walls approach. You're about to witness a purge. It's going to be a big purge. Corporate America, in the stock market, in millions of households. This purge is coming, and it's going to hit hard. So again, nobody cares about their job. Nobody cares about the national debt. Nobody cares about tomorrow. And the people who think like this are making a grave mistake. You better care, ladies and gentlemen. You better care, because especially if you have kids, you have a family, you better think about the consequences if you don't care, if you're not taking action right now. This isn't to scare anybody. This is to wake people up. And everybody should be a little bit scared. Being a little bit scared makes you take action. You get too far to the cliff, you freak out, you get a little scared, right? You start driving a little too fast, car gets a little out of control, you get scared. What do? You slow down. You ease off the pedal and you put the brake down gently and you get things under control. That fear is what makes us take action. If we didn't fear anything, we'd just be jumping off cliffs, jumping out of airplanes, driving cars at 200 miles an hour, just doing stupid things. And people are going through what's happening right now fearless. They're listening to what's happening. They believe that the Fed has everything under control. They believe the economy is doing well. There's nothing to fear. The politicians have everything under control. The dollar is never going to be challenged. The economy is doing great because that's what they're telling me, so I don't need to fear anything. If you take a look with your own two eyes, you begin to see a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of things we better be fearful of. Social breakdowns, economic collapse, dollar collapse, food shortages, stagflation, inflation. There's a lot of things. Homelessness. There's a lot of things to be fearful of. And the only thing you can do when you're fearful is not give in to the fear, but actually take action and become a better, stronger person so that these events don't affect you like they're going to affect your friends and your neighbors. Take action. You should be scared with what's happening right now. You should be scared with what's coming. You should be fearful of what's coming. And it should be enough to make you take action so that you'll be able to deal with this fear. Because most people, when it happens, it's not going to be fear. It's going to be panic that hits. Nobody can say, look, I'm very worried about what's going to happen to people I know who are not preparing. I'm worried about people in this country that I don't even know. I worry about people in this community. I worry about people that are just, in La La Land today golfing. I worry about these people. But at the end of the day, most of all, I got to worry about my own family, myself and my own family. And there is a lot to worry about. There is a lot to be fearful of out there. And so take action so that the fear doesn't turn into panic, so that you're not a victim of this depression that is coming. Take action, ladies and gentlemen. If there's any advice I can give you today on this beautiful Saturday is take action. Don't be complacent like your friends and your neighbors. It is time to take action right now. This is the time you need to be proactive. Don't wait till it happens. It's too late. Be proactive. Be putting the things you need away right now. Be buying real things. Know where your money is. Know who's managing your money. You should probably be managing a majority of your money, not somebody else who's 32 years old. Okay? You should be managing your money. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. You know that there's a lot of evil running rampant out there, a lot of bad people out there. Keep your eyes open. Keep them on a swivel. Stay off the phone when you're walking around in public, and pay attention to your environments. God bless. Have a good day.